January 14th, 2024. Over the Sea of Azov. A massive Russian aircraft circles at high altitude. Its giant radar dish spinning above the fuselage inside 15 highly trained specialists. Monitor screens showing everything happening across Ukraine's skies. This is the A-50 Mainstay, Russia's eye in the sky, worth $330 million, and in the next few minutes, it will become the first radar plane of its kind ever shot down in the 21st century. What happens next changes everything about modern air warfare. Like, subscribe, and stay with us for the full story. The A-50 is not just any plane, this is Russia's version of America's AWACS aircraft. Think of it as a flying command center packed with electronics. That massive rotating dome on top, it can see targets up to 400 kilometers away. Aircraft missiles, even ground targets. The crew of 15 includes 5 pilots and 10 radar operators. These are specialists who train for years tonight. They're flying high over the Azov Sea, watching Ukraine's airspace, guiding Russian fighter jets, and coordinating missile strikes. Russia only has about 9 of these planes. Total, each one costs as much as 4 top-line fighter jets. Losing even one is a disaster. For months, the A-50 has been flying in a predictable pattern. One plane circles over the Sea of Azov, another flies over Belgorod region. Together, they create a complete radar picture of the front line. Ukrainian forces hate these planes. The A-50 can spot Ukraine's air defenses from far away. It guides Russian missiles around defenses. Taking out an A-50 would be like blinding Russia's air force. But there's a problem. The A-50 flies too far from the front lines. Most Ukrainian missiles can't reach it. The plane is protected by distance and Russia's own air defenses. Tonight, that's about to change. Ukrainian soldiers move a Patriot air defense system into position. This is dangerous. They're setting up much closer to Russian territory than usual, close enough that Russian forces could spot them close enough to be hit by Russian aircraft or missiles. This tactic has a name. The Americans call it SAMbush. It means air ambush. You move the missile system forward quickly, hide it, wait for the target fire, then run before the enemy can respond. The Patriot system. Ukraine is using Fire's PAC-2 missiles. These can reach targets about 160 kilometers away, maybe more, if the target is big and flying high. An A-50 is both big and high. The soldiers wait. They know the A-50's patrol route they've been watching for weeks. Russian pilots fly the same pattern, same altitude, same area, night after night. It's predictable, and in war, gets you killed. On the A-50's radar screens, nothing looks wrong. The crew sees the usual clutter. Signals from their own forces background noise the sea below. Then suddenly an alarm. Missile launch detected. The radar operators see it instantly, a missile rising from Ukrainian territory, fast coming straight at them. The pilot reacts immediately. He banks the massive aircraft hard. The A-50 is big and heavy based on a cargo plane. It's not built for quick moves, but the pilot tries anyway. Someone hits the countermeasure button. Flares burst out from the aircraft. Bright burning magnesium designed to confuse heat-seeking missiles. Here's the problem. The Patriot missile doesn't use heat-seeking guidance. It uses radar. Those flares are completely useless. The PAC-2 missile climbs at incredible speed. Over Mach 3, that's more than 3 times the speed of sound. The A-50 crew can see it coming on their own radar. They know what's about to happen, but there's nothing they can do. The A-50 is slow. The missile is fast. The distance closes in seconds. The missile's warhead contains 91 kilograms of explosives. When it detonates, thousands of metal fragments spray outward at hypersonic speed. The fragments rip through the A-50's fuselage. Critical systems fail instantly. The aircraft's radar screen inside likely went blank. Communications cut out the giant plane, worth $330 million and packed with Russia's most advanced electronics, starts falling from the sky. The A-50 crashes into the Sea of Azov. All 15 crew members are killed. These aren't just pilots. They're specialists, majors, captains, trained for years. The kind of people Russia cannot easily replace. Russian military bloggers explode with anger online. Some claim it was friendly fire, that Russian air defenses shot down their own plane. Others demand answers about why the A-50 was flying so close to Ukrainian missile range. Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief Beriev Zaluzhny confirms the kill. So does the Ukrainian Air Force. They're celebrating. This is huge, but they're not done. The same night, they also hit an IL-22M airborne command post. This plane manages to limp back to Russian airfield in Anapa, but it's so badly damaged it can never fly again. More. Russian specialists dead or wounded. Shooting down an A-50 isn't like destroying a regular plane. This is the first time in the 21st century that anyone has successfully shot down an AWACS-type aircraft in combat. These planes are always kept far from danger. They're too valuable, too important. For Russia, the loss is catastrophic. Not just the $330 million aircraft, not just the 15 highly trained crew members, it's the capability. With one less A-50, Russia's ability to see Ukraine's airspace drops significantly. They can't coordinate strikes as well, they can't guide fighters as effectively, they can't spot Ukrainian air defenses from safe distances. British intelligence confirms Russia only had about 9 or 10 A-50Es before this loss. Now they have 8 or fewer. Every loss hurts more than the last. And here's the worst part for Russia. They can't build new ones easily. The A-50 uses components from Western companies. Like Intel sanctions block Russia from getting these parts. Even if they could get the parts, building a new A-50 takes years. The crew is even harder to replace. Training radar operators for these planes takes many years. You can't just pull someone from a regular unit and put them on an A-55 weeks later. February 23rd, Ukraine does it again. Another A-50 is flying over the same area. Russian commanders apparently learned nothing from the first loss. They keep flying. The same patterns, same areas, same altitude. This time, Ukrainian forces use an old Soviet-era S-200 missile. This missile was designed in the 1960s, ancient technology, but it has incredible range, especially against big, high-flying targets like the A-50. The S-200 can reach targets up to 240 kilometers away, maybe 255 kilometers, against something as large as an A-50 Russian cruise. See this one coming too video shows the A-50 desperately launching flares. Again, completely useless against a radar-guided missile. The plane tries to maneuver too slow, too heavy. The missile hits another $330 million aircraft, destroyed another crew of specialists, killed 10 more highly trained officers dead, including majors and captains. Russia's A-50 fleet is now down to maybe 6 or 7 aircraft total. In just 5 weeks, Ukraine has eliminated over 20% of Russia's entire AWACS capability. Russian military bloggers are furious. Some call it the worst disaster for Russian aviation in decades. Others demand that remaining A-50s be pulled back hundreds of kilometers from the front lines. After losing 2 A-50s in 5 weeks, Russia changes everything. The remaining planes now fly much farther from Ukraine. Some operate over 200 kilometers behind Russian lines. This keeps them safer, but also less effective. Flying farther back means reduced radar coverage, longer response times, and less ability to guide Russian missiles and fighters. The Patriot system proved its value used cleverly with the SAMbush tactic. It can hit targets that shoot be unreachable. These shoot-downs send a clear message. No aircraft is safe. Not even Russia's most valuable, most protected assets. Not even when flying 160 kilometers from the front lines. Ukraine proved that old tactics still work. Move fast, hit hard, disappear before the enemy responds. They also proved that Soviet-era weapons used smartly can still win battles. That S-200 missile system is over 60 years old, but it killed a modern command aircraft. For Russia, the losses are permanent. They cannot replace these aircraft quickly. They cannot train new crews overnight. Every A-50 they lose makes their entire air force less effective. For Ukraine, these kills boost morale massively. They show that Russia's military can be beaten, that expensive Russian equipment can be destroyed, that clever tactics matter more than bigger budgets. As of January 2026, Russia is reportedly trying to restart A-50 production, but sanctions make it nearly impossible. The aircraft needs Western electronics that Russia can no longer buy legally, even if they find ways around sanctions. Building new A-50s takes years. Meanwhile, Russia must keep flying their remaining planes. But how close to Ukraine, how do they protect aircraft that were never designed to operate in contested airspace? These are questions Russian commanders face every day now, and they don't have good answers. What started as routine patrols over the Sea of Azov ended with 2 of Russia's most valuable aircraft destroyed, 30 highly trained specialists, killed, hundreds of millions of dollars gone, and Russia's ability to control the skies permanently weakened. Modern warfare isn't just about who has the most expensive equipment. It's about who uses their equipment smarter. In January and February 2024. Ukraine proved they could outthink and outfight one of the world's largest militaries. So here's my question for you. Do you think Ukraine will shoot down more A-50s, or will Russia finally learn their lesson? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth military analysis. Because this war is far from over, and the next big development could happen at any day.